Hey, friend. Oh, man.
Hey,
Why are you recording now? Are you recording it right now?
I'll turn it off. It just automatically started.
Oh, look at me.
Hello, everyone. Can you believe it's February? Like, where did January go? For real? I don't know if anyone else feels that way or thought it was the longest month in the world. I can't believe it's February, but I'm so excited for us to continue our kickoff calls. My partner in crime, Emily Fennell, is here. We had some massive breakthroughs and we are so excited. We promised to keep these calls to 30 minutes. I'm like, we have so much to share. We're going to try. We're going to do our best. If you have
Buckle up. Buckle up.
buckle up. But we just came back. The Diamonds and Sapphires were invited to come to Phoenix for a think tank, a branding evolution event, some of which is still under wraps, some of which we get to talk about. But the good news is that when we come together, we just leave empowered and fired up. And my family was like, with COVID and everything going on, why are you risking going to this? I'm like, because I need my people. I need to hear from people that I love. I need to pour into people that love me. And I came back better, and I'm so thankful that I did. And Emily and I got to room together, so we had all kinds of special moments. And I'm so glad we did.
Well, wait, Mel, I have a question for you. Have you ever regretted going to a Plexus event?
Never, ever, ever.
Because you never regret going to a Plexus event. I want everybody to have that sink in, because that's an important point. We actually talked about that a lot there, was that nobody ever says, I wish I didn't go to that retreat. Like, I wish I didn't go to that leaders retreat or like convention, whatever it is. You will never regret going to a Plexus event, ever.
Especially now. We need connection more than ever. And I know everyone has their own circumstances. They have to make their decisions. But y'all, get your butts to convention, or you will say, why wasn't I there? So please come in the chat. If you are coming to convention.
Yeah, who's going to convention?
Let's hear. No pressure. Now that we,
for those of you who don't know, it's in June and it's in Ohio. Registered. Good.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to start off. We have, wait, hold on. I'm going to fix my little, give me just a second here. I need to figure it. Wait, I did this a second ago.
I'm going to mute out, Mel. So I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay, there we go.
Are you ready?
I'm so proud of myself. I'm evolving. Look at me. I'm evolving with technology.
She is a professional, everyone.
I am so not, but that's why you love me. So we are here. And I'm going to be reading from a script, which I never do, but Travis Garza was one of our headliners, as with Shalene Johnson as well. Emily's going to talk a little bit more about her, but I got some of the secret sauce from Travis and accidentally got his script. So I'm going to use some of his greatness. So if you can tell that I'm reading, it's because I am. It's because I want to make sure that I give you guys some of the things I think are so important. But we're here tonight to talk about building belief in our brand and in your brand, and really what it means to find your niche. This is worth doing. It's not easy, but it's so worth it to make sure that you are reflecting who you want to be in this ever-changing world. Sorry, I'm a little hoochie here. But to say it bluntly, you evolve or you die. That's it. And in order to remain relevant in this ever-changing marketplace, we have to evolve. And we don't wait for opportunities, guys. We have to create opportunities. If you think about our company mission, it's to ignite hope, health, and happiness for those who want more out of life. We ignite hope and health and happiness. But is that where Plexus started 10 years ago? In the comments, how long have you been with Plexus? It'll be 9 years in April for me. Does anyone remember this? Okay. If you've been around for a hot minute, this is how we started Plexus. It's the female, it's got her silhouette here. It's all pink and it's all about weight loss. the most natural way to lose weight. That was our branding. Okay. I want y'all to look at this. I mean, it was a scale with just the proof is in the pounds here. Okay. So if you guys remember, and then, okay, so those that are here for 6 months are going to think of it more in the way that we are now. But I just want to give a quick little shout out to our team. And I know this sounds kind of bragging, but we are. When Plexus started, when we started, we had the Slim, we had the breast health kit, we had the ProBio 5, and X Factor. Guys, and BioCleanse. Our team created the Fab Four. It was all about Slim and Accelerator when we started. It was all about weight loss. And that's what turned me off. Okay. I didn't want a quick fix. That I have a diabetic husband. I have a son with autism that has severe gut issues. A quick fix was not going to help my family. I had to do the research. I had to dig in and go, whoa, Slim is about stabilizing blood sugar levels. ProBio 5, that's gut health. And so our Fab 4 was not a part of Plexus's mission. But now the way people know Plexus is the original gut health company. So we evolved quickly from a quick weight loss company to a gut health company, OG gut health, baby. That is who we are. And, you know, going from what I showed you a minute ago to this, you know, health and happiness company. Look, I mean, plant-based, so different than where we started. Guys, we went, let me see if I can find it again. We went from this packaging. Look at this active. Look at this active where we are now, where you can see the sticks. This is what we had for Christmas, our special active, our cranberry cider, cranberry apple cider. What a difference. So you evolve or you die. Okay. If we were still here, nobody would be buying Plexus. So we have grown as a company because we were the first social sellers on social media. That's why we have the enormous following and impact that we have now. Plexus didn't wait for an opportunity. We, as ambassadors, all of us, we created it. We created it by being authentically ourselves. But think of some of the greatest companies out there that you know. Coca-Cola, Target, Harley Davidson, Nike, Apple. Think about how they've had to stay relevant in the marketplace. Let's talk about some celebrities. This one cracks me up. Do you guys think that Miley Cyrus, do you think that she was branded with being Hannah Montana? No, that girl is not Hannah Montana, but what she did was she took the opportunity and then she branded herself as becoming a wrecking ball and all these things. But it was a platform and an opportunity to then create who she wanted to be. But I think about, you know, Michael Jackson, someone that, I mean, I think especially if you think about celebrities, and that's a little, we are not celebrities, y'all. If anyone thinks we're celebrities, you have to remember we are in social selling, but we do have to stay relevant. And I do think it's important to look at people and how they stay relevant. But Michael Jackson, Madonna, I mean, Lady Gaga was this crazy attention seeker who's now winning Oscars. So what are these companies and how did these people, how did they last this long? They evolved. They evolved with the changes in the world. So now in terms of you and your business, I want you to just be open to evolving, not necessarily doing all the trending things, because that for me is intimidating and shuts me down, just being totally honest with you. But it's so important to stay educated on what is going on. Does that mean that you have to have a TikTok account posting every single day? No, that's not where my audience is. But I will tell you that I have a TikTok account and I am on it every day because I want to watch and learn to see where we're heading. And I want to make sure I know exactly what my daughter is watching every day too. Because my son does not have social media. That's her only platform, but it's to keep my eyes and ears open. First, it's fun. Second, it's teaching me what's coming. And third, as a parent, that's kind of my job. So that's why I'm doing that. But in terms of Instagram, a couple years back, I think I got really in on Facebook early on, but everyone started trending with Instagram with having these beautiful layouts and having these highlights, and they were all the same color. And some people are really great at that, but it paralyzed me. In the comments, have you ever been paralyzed by comparison? Comparison has paralyzed me before. And I'm here to tell you that you can still be a successful, evolving diamond and be paralyzed at a time in your business. What happened was I had to get over my fear and say, guess what? That's not me. I am never going to be that ahead of the game, super organized, perfect. Like I'm a mess. Our team page is grit, grace, and good times. Like that is not me. And so when I realized that I still have something to offer because I am created uniquely, and my Instagram page doesn't have to be perfect, it gave me freedom to allow myself to evolve. Debbie Darby, who is my mother-in-law, who is 72 and looks 40. She has had to evolve in this business. We've had to evolve in the way that we've trained our people. Debbie, I know you're on here in the comments. Were any of you on those Darby team calls in the very beginning where we didn't have Zoom, where we had technical difficulties every week, but we kept getting on together because we knew we had something special, okay? We keep evolving. So my job today is to get it. And like you said, it was such a fun time. That's what it's about. It's about finding your people and having fun. And so really my job tonight is helping you guys understand the importance of the buy-in, of being confident, of taking a step back and knowing who you are and what you represent on social media. Because I know that when I joined Plexus 9 years ago, I was a different person to a point. Yeah, I think we're all evolving than I am now. My target audience is different than when I started. I was a young mama in the throes of an early autism diagnosis. It's not where I am today. I'm about empowering and inspiring women. It's a very different place. And hopefully each one of you feel like that you're evolving every day, being coachable, being better. But have you really taken the time to sit back and evaluate where you are and why you are where you are? Who is your target market? Who are you trying to reach? Which influencers are you watching? How do you get your media? Part of what I wanted to do with this is I thought about where and how do I get my information? Emily had shared a quote about 88% of successful people. One thing that they do every day is they read. Y'all, I'm not a reader. Guess what? I'm not that statistic, but I'm here to tell you that you can still be successful if you do it your way. If you find people that you connect with and say, I'm going to be myself and I'm going to find people that I know are going to be like me. Those I do all the time. I just don't pick up that book and read, but we're always evolving to be better. So I just wanted you guys to really think about, are you talking to moms on the soccer field? Are they the ones that are giving you advice on which holistic doctor to go to? Which influencers are you listening to take advice from? Those are the people that you want to share Plexus with, right? So Plexus is going to be here for a long, long time, just like all these other legacy companies. But to ensure that we know where we're headed, we've got to stay current. One quote that I want to end with is, there's a special gift that God gave only you to bring to the world. I'm going to hand it off to Emily because she has had meltdowns to breakthroughs that we've talked about. A good meltdown always leads to an amazing breakthrough. And she's going to really talk to you guys about how she nailed her market and niche. So Emily, I'm going to hand it off to you, but I will be managing the chat. We'll be talking more.
Okay.
so excited for you to share.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you guys that when we went to Arizona, like Mel's talking about, I went in with this opinion that my truth was that I was going to show everyone that you can be really, really successful in this business and not do or social media. I felt burnout on Facebook. Instagram was so intimidating to me, you guys. Like when Mel was talking about that at the beginning, like all the pretty, like I am not a visual person. I'm not like, I don't do fonts. Like none of that is my thing. And so Instagram always just was a huge turnoff for me. So I went into that weekend, however many weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or whatever, like with that stance of like, I am just going to do belly to belly. I love people. I want to get together with people. I want to have parties at my house. I want to just create community and continue to grow my business only face to face. Right. And then Chalene Johnson walked into my life with really high heels and blew my mind. And I want to tell you a few things. This was the one that really started to change everything. It shattered the way I was thinking. Okay. She said, and I can't quote it exactly, but basically she said, our children one day will not be able to imagine that we were able to post for free. I want you to have that sink in for a minute. You guys, this is a huge opportunity. Everything is shifting and changing. We feel it. Things are changing so fast right now, right? And what's shifting and changing is the way that people are marketing all the things. Okay. Nobody's like watching TV commercials anymore. We fast forward through that, right? So what is being marketed is through Insta, whatever they're called. What are they called? Insta. Somebody put it in the chat. Not Insta celebrities, Insta whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The people that are like influencers, Insta influencers. Thank you. Okay. And that is who is now doing all the sales, right? That's how people they're sharing in stories and reels and all these things that were intimidating to me. But when I realized that this was basically free advertising and the fact that so many people are online now, it's our job to find our niche, because our niche is going to bring in the people that really, first of all, I've always done my business very prayerfully. And I've always prayed that God would bring me the people that need these products in this business. And basically, this is a whole new avenue to do this to the next level. Okay. The other thing that Chalene said is she said, you want to be posting and thinking about your niche, however you want to say it. We had big debates about that. Should be you about 3 years ago, or before something big in your life happened, right? Your job is to help other people. And I was listening to a podcast, The Mindset Mentor, one of my favorites ever. Excuse the language in the podcast, but it's so good. I love his content. And he was talking about how if you are not willing to share right now, you're actually being extremely selfish, because what you're doing is thinking about yourself. You're thinking about yourself and the fear of judgment, fear of whatever people are going to think about you. You're not thinking about that person who needs your story for them to get through whatever the battle they're facing. Okay. You, like Mel said at the end, you have a purpose. You have something to share. We cannot do this alone. I had Krista Deary, you guys, speak to our leaders this week, and all of us were in tears. It was incredible. I just love Krista Deary. But her thing is she stands up boldly, terrified, but boldly, because she feels so strongly that she has something to give, that she can help others through her story. Okay. So that is what I want you guys to come at your Instagram with. And it made me feel so much like the weight was lifted off when Chalene talked about the fact that the whole like pretty pictures and all the things, that's over. Now it's value. So what value can you add? And when I say value, I want you guys to like expand like what your thoughts are about that. Like there's a diamond. Oh gosh, now I'm going to forget her name. She's a diamond. She's awesome. She has started her niche is just the air fryer. That's all she does. Air fryer recipes all day, every day. And I'm obsessed. Like you can find things that are like specific to something you're passionate about. Okay. Deborah McCletchen, I'm afraid to say it wrong. McCletchen. Yes, she's awesome. So you need to be thinking about what value you add. Okay. And Chalene went through this at Super Saturday. I'm sure you guys saw it, where she talked about write a list of what are your things, right? So I want you guys to talk about I want to talk to you guys about my personal journey through this. And like Mel said, I had like a major meltdown and like breakdown, breakthrough, all the things about my fear around even going live, sharing. Like you guys see, I do these videos and I do Zoom calls, and that's fine. But for some reason, going live, putting my face out there, especially publicly like that, crazy anxiety, like cannot do it. But all of these things start coming in, start learning all of this, and I start realizing that I do have something to share. And I think when you are able to completely own that the people who get you are going to be magnetically drawn to you, and the people who don't are going to literally they're going to like be resistant to it. They're going to disappear because they're going to unfollow you. When you start realizing it's basically like a big sifter, and you should feel confident in that and excited about that, because you're going to be bringing in people that, like I said, you're asking God to bring you the people that need these products and need this business. Okay. So however you're going to do that, you're going to do it within a place that you feel confident and comfortable. And you should find your niche, something that you feel super passionate about and you want to talk about. Okay. So mine, and I'm going to give you a few tips to get started, because I'm going to tell you what I did. I didn't know where I wanted to go with it. So I just started somewhere. I started with positive mindset. Like my new Insta name is Positive Energy with Emily. Okay. So you guys can look me up, Emily Fennell, whatever. And I just started posting. The other favorite thing that she shared was that you don't have to share your own content. You can just steal other people's that have to do with your niche. Okay. That was like another huge weight lifted off. Does anybody else feel that? Put yes if you guys felt that weight lifted off when you were like, oh, I can share other people's stuff. I can do that. Right. Okay. So many people felt that too. Okay. So that was huge. I just started sharing and I also started following more positive mindset thing. What's fun tip. That was actually really good. Now I go to Instagram. There's all these positive mindset things every day. So anyway, I ended up taking a training that I've done for a long time. And I felt like super, super called to do this, even though it makes me really nervous, to just make that right now my focus. Okay. You can change your niche, but find something, go in a direction. So start somewhere is my first tip. Okay. Start somewhere, just start. So I'm going to actually walk you through my 7-step process that ended up becoming my niche. My niche is and you want to make it, who is it for? And what's the value you're adding for these people? So mine is to help highly sensitive women shift from limiting thoughts into inspired action using my 7-step process. Okay. So if you guys don't know my 7-step process, I don't know if I've ever shared it on this call before, but it's the acronym ACTIONS, ACTIONS. Okay. So we're going to actually walk through it on this call. Is anybody feeling like I don't really know what my Insta thing is? I don't have time for this. I'm overwhelmed by it, all the things. Okay. Put some of like your limiting thoughts about this in the chat. Like, I don't know what my niche is. I don't know what I'm doing. Like any thoughts that are holding you back right now, just pop them in the chat first. And then we're going to walk it through actions. I'm not relevant. I don't know who's going to watch this. I don't know what my niche is. Okay, perfect. Struggling. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of I don't know what my niche is. Okay, so let's start with that one. Okay, so the first step of actions is awareness of the thought. So we're going to start with the awareness is I don't know what my niche should be. Okay, let's just start with that one. Then the second step of actions, and this is very important. If you guys want to go, you can literally follow me on Instagram, and I go through each of these. So I'm going to do a real quick one tonight. But C stands for compassion. So as soon as you know you're a limiting thought, the first thing you want to do is shame yourself for having it. Like, oh, everybody else knows it. I should know it. Stop. Instead, you're going to have compassion. Of course, you don't know what your niche is. This is all new. This is scary. You don't have, like, this is all new things. And like some of the things that you guys are saying, you don't know who your people are. You don't know Instagram. You don't know how to make a reel. Like all of those things. Of course, you feel like you don't know what your niche is. Okay. So have the compassion. Then you're going to move on to the next, which is T. T stands for tune into a new thought. Okay. And I have a whole, there's a PDF worksheet. You can have all of this information as far as the actions are concerned, but I'm going to throw out some new thoughts that we can have instead of, I don't know what my niche should be. What if you thought I can help one person get through something that I went through? What if that was your new thought? I can help one person get through something that I've been through in my life that was hard. What if you thought I'm here to allow God to use me to help people that he knows need it? Okay, so that's another option for a thought here. How about somebody is waiting for me out there and I don't want to let them down? Okay, so these are all new thoughts that I like, just some thoughts that I thought of, thinking, I don't know what my niche is. What if I shift that into, I'm not going to let somebody else down. They're waiting for me. I'm here to allow God to use me to help people that he knows need it. Or I can help one person get through something I got through. Okay, so then you're going to choose which one of those thoughts you want, like feels really authentic to where you want to be right now. Okay. How about, I don't know which one of those. I can help one person get through what I got through. How about that? Does that feel good? Yes. Seeing lots of nods. Okay. Let's make that our new thought. Then I stands for integrate the new thought. So we're going to take that new thought and make it our new thought and start living our lives from that thought. And again, there's a whole like step through this, but we're just going through it fast. When you do that, you will naturally move on to the O step, which stands for onset of ideas. Okay. Onset of ideas is when you sit down and start brainstorming. Okay, when I think that I can help one person get through what I've got through, now I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a list of all the things that I've been through in my life that have been hard. I'm going to get on my Insta page. I'm going to start following other people who have been through whatever it is, right? I'm going to start seeing if there's other content out there I can share. I want to start learning how to make reels. I'm going to go on Shalene's page or Brock's page or whatever and do one of their 7-day classes. Like you start having ideas of things that you want to do to take action on. Okay. So when you start making that list, then you get overwhelmed because you're like, oh my gosh, I have so many things to do. Right. So I guess the nods. So now you're going to move on to another favorite step, which is N. N is the next best step. You don't have to do them all. You're just going to pick one. So when you look through your list, then you're like, okay, the next one, and I do this very intuitively. I literally look at my list and I feel each one. Does this one feel like the next step? Because I can feel it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do it sound like a crazy person? Like this is the sensitive woman part. I'm always like, okay, this one feels right. And I know which step I need to take next, right? So then you're just going to take that step. And this is my favorite step, you guys. S is my favorite. Because once you get in that to action and you do that next best step, you find so much value in having that initial negative thought. S stands for see the value in the initial limiting thought. So when you're in action, when you're making your list, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm glad I had the thought that I didn't know what my niche was because here I am in action. Okay. So again, if you guys are curious about the actions, what I just shared with you, that is 100, that is my Instagram page. That is my thing. What I'm doing is just sharing that right now. And it's going to evolve. And I know that, but right now it's what I'm confident and comfortable sharing, something I feel passionate about. And here's my other tip. And you guys, this is something that's come up a lot this week. And I think it's very important. You want to be careful about when you pick a niche, you want to make sure you're focusing on something more moving toward good instead of against something you don't want. Okay. So example, if you are wanting to create healthy recipes, like you want to talk about creating healthy recipes versus all the chemicals and awful things in our food. Okay. So energetically, you're going to attract people who are forward moving or who are negative and angry. So you want to make sure you're picking your niche and then you're focusing on the forward moving. Does that make sense? Example, like let's say you're a single mom and you're like, I've been through a painful divorce and I want to share about, finding and loving myself after a painful divorce versus how painful divorce is and how I hate my ex. Okay. So you want to always focus on the positive. And then this is another thing that was big is really focus on sharing that niche in your posts and sharing other people's content, sharing your niche. In your stories is where you're going to put all of your plexus, life, all of the things. Okay. That way, when people come, she kind of walked us through what people do is they'll click on your name and then they'll read your bio and they'll see, would this apply to me? And is this adding value to me? If so, they'll probably follow you. Then they'll start digging deeper into your posts and and then they get to know you in your stories. And then that way you can start communicating with them about helping them get started with Plexus. Does that sound good? Was this good? Yes?
Emily,
Did you guys take something away from this call where you're like, oh my gosh, now I know a direction to go in?
Two
Yes.
things really quick. Will you go through your action steps again really quick? I got most of them, but I'm going to write them all down.
Yes, I will tell you. And honestly, you guys, seriously, just today, it's official today. I have a website that literally you can click on it and you can download a PDF, and it takes you through not only the worksheet, it actually takes you through writing out the new thoughts to tune to. It gives you examples of how to create those. So,
link tree?
What?
Is it a link tree?
I hired some chick that made the website.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what it's literally as of today. So it's brand spanking new. So, okay. Action stands for awareness, compassion, tune to a new thought, integrate the new thought.
Slow down.
I'm saying it too fast. Sorry. Awareness, compassion, tune to a new thought, integrate new thought, onset of ideas. I see so many people writing.
What's O? Onset of ideas?
Onset of ideas.
Okay.
Next best step. And then see the value in the initial thought. And again, all of it's on you guys should go find me on Instagram.
Okay, and I'll have this in our recap notes when I post the recording. But
and another thing on my page, what I do is I actually give examples like limiting thoughts. So if you guys ever want to tell me, if you guys want to give me like seriously private message me on Facebook and tell me limiting thoughts you're having, I will do examples of them that walk you through the action steps on my page too. So yeah, so honestly, I hope you guys feel empowered to just start somewhere. And like I said, you might go down one path and be like, oh, like I did, and be like, oh, let me tweak it a little, let me tweak it again. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to share. And you stick with it for a while. It's not forever. There are no rules. You can change your niche, but what you're doing is you're opening up to a whole new market. And you guys can do it. I feel like Rebecca Fulks had to say that to me 100 times before I finally believed it, but you can totally do this. And like Mel said, this is the evolution. Lean into it, even when it's uncomfortable. Do you guys have questions? What are your thoughts?
I wanted you to say something really quick. And we're past our 30 minutes, so jump off if you need to, but this is worth it. Emily, I want you to explain why you had a little bit of a meltdown before you had your breakthrough. I want you to talk a little bit about the comparison game and how you had that breakthrough moment, because I think that's so important for all of us, because I know that I've had those moments too. And I think it'll be really relatable, I think, for everyone that's on this call.
Well, yeah. Well, I felt like I had my like positive whatever mindset work. And then I went and I found other people's, like I said, so I could share theirs. And then I was like, what the heck, who would ever even look at me? And you guys, here's the thing. Today, I was like, actions is dumb. Nobody cares about it. Why am I doing this? And I thankfully have an incredible life coach that I'm working with. She's an Enneagram life coach, so she knows all about my crazy 4 tendencies. And she said to me, what if you just did it to delight him? Like, what if because you felt called to do it, you were doing it for him and him only? Could you still do it? Can you relax and like not worry about the followers, not worry about any of this, but just do it to delight, for him to delight in what you're doing? And that was a huge aha moment for me too. And like I said, I think that is important, Mel. I'm glad you brought it up, because the truth is, even when you find your niche, you're still going to feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So another tip, this is another tip that I'm going to piggyback on that, is I found that what I do is if I sit down and say, okay, this next week, I'm doing 2 reels, I'm doing 3 lives in my stories, and I'm doing 4 of my personal posts, and I'm doing 4 shares or whatever. I mean, that's kind of where I'm starting. And I'm also building on it each week. I'm also not like feeling like I have to do all the things at once. The first week I was like, I'm going to share 4 times and that's it. And then I'm going to do one of my own posts and share 4 times. Okay. So writing that down and making that your goal for the week. Oh, yes. We need to share a few people from our teams that are amazing. Well, some of them aren't even all. Andrea Mitchell's one. She's found a great niche. Emily Roberts is amazing. Abby Wallach does a phenomenal job of sharing a very intimate health concern in their family without going deep into her child's story. She keeps her child private, but she's able to really connect with people, with moms who are dealing with type 1 diabetes with kids, with
Which
their
Emily
kids.
helped me to talk through that, because a few friends of mine were like, Mel, you need to talk about autism and the journey that you've been in. And I was like, I don't want to sell my son, or, he's 13 and he's not on social media, but what if he is someday? And Emily was so good about saying, but you can still inspire moms by sharing experiences without it being about Carson's story. And I thought that was just life-giving to me, because honestly, it was holding me back. I'm like, I do have a story. I do have things I want to share, but I don't want to label him to a point where he looks back and he's resentful. So just something to think about if you're struggling with, I want to share this about my life, or I want to share this about my family, but it's a vulnerable place. Think about a way to tell your story, but do it in a way where it's not just where you're sharing, you know what I mean? Where you're not oversharing, but you're still inspiring people. So that gave me some freedom just to look at my scope a little differently.
That's good. And then, Lindsay Robleski, we were talking about this call. She's killing it with hers. I love it. She's really good at the reels. Darcy Groton is really good. Darcy's is, I love her niche too. It's the thing. And this is another thing that stood out to me, what Shalene said. She said, your goal is to have somebody sitting in a dinner party and being like, oh my gosh, you're struggling with this, girl, you've got to follow this girl. So Darcy Groton's is finding connection, family connection, like unplugging from technology and connecting with family. Like, how many times does that come up when you're with other moms? Like, it's such an easy thing. Oh my gosh, you got to follow my friend Darcy. I've like shared with her so many times with friends, because it's a niche that people talk about.
Yes.
So be thinking about and the air fryer. That was another good, like, those are the things that like you just come up in conversation. Oh my gosh, you have to follow her.
And it's okay to lose some followers, because you're going to grow in the area that you're meant to share. When you find that special place that you want to share and talk about, you'll have so much more come to you than you will when you're trying to do everything. Does that make sense? So don't be afraid to really like take that step out, and really market yourself in that way, because you will end up, like someone said, I saw in the notes, I have a passion for dogs. Do you know how many people talk about dogs? Do you know how many people care about their dogs? Dogs are their babies. I mean, pets are huge. I mean, that's massive. You could do everything just about dogs. I mean, seriously. So don't think that that's irrelevant. I would love to see your dog content. That would make me
especially
happy.
if it's like a specific kind of dog, even if it's just rescue dog or like a specific breed, like people, that you're going to find your people. Tanya asked a question. Do you start anew or transition to current? So that's an interesting question. For me, I just started to just transition my current because it was basically empty anyway, but I had a lot of followers, which was great because it looks good. People look at that. So I kept mine, but Nikki Hinkle started a new one and it's been wildly successful. So she kind of has her original one. And then she started one, teenage kids, basically attachment parents, or they call it gentle parenting with teenage kids. And it's so good. Her content's amazing too. So it's totally up to you. You can do either way. All right, you guys, we're late. Is there anything else now?
There's so much more, but I'm glad we stayed on because I think we needed it. I think it was good for us to just have a little bit of some conversation. I think what I encourage you guys to do is just to take some time for yourself, take a step back, pray about it. Like, don't just beat yourself up for not having the ideas. Pray. I mean, and this may be stepping on some toes, but if that's not your jam, then talk to your spouse, talk to your best friend, pray for the right words, pray for the right thing to come to you, and know that you don't have to know it right this minute. Guess what? Mine isn't all figured out yet. I'm still working on it. So Emily's got hers nailed. Yay for her, but I am not going to be shut down. I am still working on it because I want it to be great. I have already started with somewhere. you go to my Instagram page, you will see it looks different. So I am making those steps forward, but start with something and don't be afraid to do that and come to us. Like, I would love to talk with you, because when we talk together and when we brainstorm, I think that's where the magic happens. So just know, like, we're here for that. And thank you guys for staying on a few extra minutes. We will share the recording. We'll also share Emily's action steps in that recording post. So be sure to look on my team page. It may be up tonight. It'll definitely be up by tomorrow, so that you guys can share this call with your team. And last thing, I encourage you to have this call with your teams. Set these up with your downline, with your level ones. And I mean, I know Debbie did this with her leaders, with a small group of leaders, and I've gotten in a few different things how much they got from that. So have some brainstorming sessions, because you're going to think, I'm going to serve my people, but guess what? They're going to serve you too, because they're going to give you ideas. So that's some time. Who is going to have calls this week with their team, or who's going to set some time up just to take a step back and reflect and really come up with something? Like, I'm going to pray over you. I'm going to pray that everyone finds their words this week. So thank you guys for being on. We really hope that this helped inspire you and just helps you to really think about where you're going in this business, because as long as we keep evolving, we're not going to die. We're going to do this together. So thank you all for joining, and we love you.
Thanks, guys. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.